Respect isn't something people hand to you because you ask for it. It's something they feel the moment you walk into a room. You don't need to announce who you are. You don't need to prove your worth through words or titles. Your presence alone tells the story, if you know how to own it. Most people think respect is earned through dominance or through being the loudest voice in the room. But real strength doesn't come from volume. It comes from stillness. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows who they are, someone who doesn't need external validation to feel powerful. Every space you enter reads you before you speak. People pick up on your energy, your posture, your eyes, your calm. They can sense whether you're grounded or whether you're trying too hard to be seen. And here's the truth. When you truly respect yourself, others can sense it. They feel your boundaries, your self-control, your certainty. Respect is not something you demand. It's a frequency you radiate. There's a kind of presence that speaks louder than any words ever could. It's not arrogance. It's not about intimidating others. It's about mastery. Mastery over your emotions, your body, and your reactions. When you walk with that kind of composure, people respond differently to you. They listen differently. They treat you differently. Because deep down, they recognize power when they see it. And real power doesn't need to shout. Think about the moments when someone walks into a room and suddenly the atmosphere changes. They don't have to speak. Everyone just feels something, a subtle tension, a sense of authority, a quiet magnetism. That's not luck, that's discipline. That's someone who understands that presence isn't built on performance. It's built on control. Control of your breath, your body language, your emotions. Control of how you move, how you hold eye contact, how you carry your silence. When you walk in, rushed, distracted, unsure, people feel that. When you walk in calm, steady, focused, they feel that too. Every gesture, every pause, every moment of silence, it communicates. And the message it sends is either, I'm in charge of myself, or I'm seeking approval. One earns respect. The other chases it. Your power begins where your need to prove yourself ends. You don't have to fight for space. You are the space. When your energy says, I'm centered, people instinctively respect it. They sense that you're not reacting to them. You're simply being. And that's rare. Because most people live in constant reaction mode. Over-explaining, overthinking, oversharing. But those who master stillness create a kind of gravity that pulls respect toward them. So before you ever say a word, ask yourself, what does my presence say about me? Does it say I'm calm, controlled, certain? Or does it say I'm trying to be something I'm not? Respect doesn't start with others. It starts with how you carry yourself. In silence, in posture, in the way you simply exist in the moment. That's where true power begins. Before you ever open your mouth, your body is already communicating everything about you. Your confidence, your insecurities, your focus, your doubt. People don't need to hear your words to know who you are. They can feel it. Your posture, your eyes, your gestures. They tell the truth, even when your words try to hide it. The world reads you through the language of energy and movement. So if you want to command respect, you must learn to master what your body is saying long before you ever speak. When you walk into a room, you're being evaluated in seconds, not in a superficial way, but instinctively. Humans are wired to read physical cues for safety, trust, and power. They look at how you carry yourself. Do you walk with purpose or hesitation? Do you stand tall or collapse inward? Is your gaze grounded or scattered? Everything communicates. The way you hold your shoulders, the way your chin aligns with your spine, even the rhythm of your steps, all of it sends a message about your inner state. People can sense when you feel small inside, even if you pretend otherwise. They can also sense when you're calm and centered, even if you say nothing at all. That's why posture matters. Not because it's about looking confident, but because it's about being confident. When you stand straight, shoulders relaxed, head level, breathing deep, you're not just appearing strong. You're aligning your body with strength. Your mind follows. Your energy follows. And people around you respond to that alignment instinctively. Your eyes, too, are powerful tools. Eye contact isn't about staring someone down or dominating them. It's about connection, the ability to hold someone's gaze long enough to show presence, but not so long that it becomes a challenge. When your eyes are calm, people trust you. When they're restless, people doubt you. It's not about forcing confidence. It's about anchoring yourself so deeply in composure that your gaze naturally holds steadiness. Then there's movement, something we underestimate constantly. Confident people don't rush, they don't fidget, they move with deliberation. Every motion seems intentional, because it is. When you slow down your movements, your brain interprets it as control, and that's exactly how others perceive it too. Power doesn't sprint, power walks. Power stands still and waits. The person who can stay motionless, who can breathe through the silence, who doesn't chase the tempo of others, that's the person who owns the room. People who rely on words to prove themselves often reveal insecurity. They explain too much. They fill the silence because they're uncomfortable with it. But those who master their body, who can stand in silence, who can let a pause linger, they project confidence effortlessly. Because confidence isn't loud, it's composed. It's the steady heartbeat that says, I know who I am. So when you walk into a room, don't focus on what you'll say. Focus on how you enter. Your steps, your stance, your breath. That's your introduction. The body doesn't lie, and when you learn to let your body speak the truth of your strength, respect follows naturally. Silence is one of the most underestimated forms of power. Most people fear it because silence exposes truth, yours and theirs. When you stay quiet, people project their own emotions into the space. They reveal themselves without realizing it. Meanwhile, you remain composed, unreadable, and in control. That's the real art of commanding respect, being able to hold your ground without the need to fill every moment with words. Silence is not weakness. It's psychological strength in its purest form. Think about the moments that make people uncomfortable. It's rarely chaos or noise. It's silence. That's because silence forces authenticity. It takes away the armor of chatter and reveals character. In a conversation, when you pause before answering, people lean in, they wait. They start to wonder what you're thinking. That curiosity is influence. It's how you create presence without effort. You become the calm in a world addicted to noise, and people can't help but respect that. When someone challenges you or tries to provoke a reaction, silence becomes your shield. You don't need to rush to defend yourself. You don't need to prove them wrong. Just pause. Look them in the eyes. Let your stillness speak. That pause unsettles those who rely on emotional reaction to gain control. The more calm you remain, the more their energy exposes itself. They begin to realize that they can't pull you into their chaos, and that realization shifts the power dynamic instantly. Silence tells people that you are in charge of your emotions. It says you don't respond impulsively. You choose your words. You think before you act. You aren't controlled by ego, insecurity, or the need to win every exchange. And when others sense that, they instinctively adjust how they approach you. They lower their tone. They listen more carefully. Because in silence, they feel your composure. And that composure demands respect. In high-stress environments, the one who speaks the least often controls the most. When emotions rise, silence becomes a stabilizer. It slows everything down. It gives you time to observe, to read micro-expressions, body language, and intention. The person who talks too much gives away their strategy. The one who listens and watches holds the advantage. Silence creates awareness, and awareness creates power. There's also a deeper kind of silence, internal silence. It's not just about not speaking, it's about quieting the mind. When your mind is calm, your energy becomes centered. You stop reacting from fear or ego and start responding from clarity. That's when silence becomes not just a tactic, but a way of being. It communicates that you are grounded, present, and fully in control of yourself. So the next time you feel the urge to over-explain, defend, or prove, stop. Breathe. Let silence do the work for you. Because every pause, every moment of controlled stillness tells the world one thing. You don't need validation to feel powerful. You already are. It's one thing to understand the theory of presence and composure, but real power shows itself in the moments that test you. When someone disrespects you, interrupts you, or underestimates you, that's when your control is measured. Those are the moments that reveal whether you command respect or chase it. Because respect isn't built in perfect conditions. It's earned in real time, through real reactions, when your emotions beg you to respond, but your discipline tells you to pause. Picture this. You're in a meeting, sharing an idea, and someone cuts you off mid-sentence. The average person reacts instantly. They rush to reclaim their space, to prove their point, to win back the room. But that reaction communicates insecurity, not strength. Instead, imagine this. You stop speaking. You don't argue. You don't raise your voice. You simply turn your head slowly toward the person who interrupted you and hold their gaze, calm, steady, unbothered. The silence stretches for just a second too long, and the entire energy shifts. You've said nothing, but the message is clear. You don't talk over me. That kind of calm assertion makes people think twice before doing it again. Now think about relationships, romantic, family, or friendship. Emotions run high. Someone says something sharp, trying to provoke a reaction. If you match their energy, you lose your center. But if you hold your ground, breathe deeply, let their words pass through you, you maintain control. You don't withdraw to be passive. You stay still to stay powerful. Because when you no longer react to emotional bait, you take away their ability to control the dynamic. Over time, people stop testing you because they realize your peace isn't something they can touch. In public, it's the same. The way you move through spaces communicates everything. Imagine walking through a crowded place. Most people rush, eyes down, distracted, trying to avoid attention. But when you walk upright, head lifted, aware of your surroundings, not seeking attention, but not hiding either, people notice. They make way for you. Not because you're aggressive, but because your focus and composure create invisible boundaries. The way you carry yourself silently teaches others how to treat you. Even in moments of conflict or confrontation, restraint speaks louder than reaction. The person who remains calm under pressure, who doesn't let anger or fear dictate their behavior, instantly becomes the most respected presence in the room. People sense it. They may not know why, but they feel that you're different. You don't crumble. You don't chase validation. You lead with control, and that control radiates quiet strength. Commanding respect isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Staying centered even when chaos surrounds you. Every time you choose not to react, every time you choose silence over ego, every time you walk with deliberate composure, you reinforce your power. These aren't small moments. They're signals. They tell the world exactly who you are. Someone who doesn't just talk about strength, but embodies it through action. Emotional control is the foundation of every form of true respect. People might admire your looks, your intelligence, or your achievements, but they respect your ability to stay composed when everything around you is pushing you to break. That's what separates the powerful from the reactive. The person who cannot master their emotions will always be mastered by their environment. You can have all the skills, all the experience, all the words. But if you lose control of yourself in a moment of pressure, people stop trusting you. Because respect isn't about perfection. It's about predictability, the ability to remain grounded no matter what is happening around you. When you control your emotions, you control the tone of every interaction. You decide when to engage, when to pause, when to walk away. You decide what energy to absorb and what to reject. Most people give away their power not because they're weak, but because they let emotion dictate reaction. Someone says something insulting, anger rises, pride answers. But power doesn't move from impulse. Power moves from intention. Every second you spend centered while others lose control, your authority multiplies. People instinctively trust those who stay calm when everyone else is falling apart. In emotional control, there's also an unspoken confidence, a kind of internal stillness that others can feel. When you don't react, you send a signal that says, I'm not threatened. That message alone changes the dynamic. Whether you're in a negotiation, a disagreement, or even a relationship conflict, your calm energy becomes magnetic. Others begin to lean toward it because stability is rare. Everyone is drawn to the person who can stay peaceful in pressure-filled situations. That's why emotional discipline isn't just self-protection, it's influence. Think about it. In every group, there's always that one person who seems unbothered. They don't panic when things go wrong. They don't let anger cloud their judgment. They speak slowly, move deliberately, and when they finally do say something, people listen. That's not luck or personality. That's training. That's someone who learned that emotions are signals, not instructions. They feel everything, but they choose what deserves a reaction. And that kind of emotional maturity commands respect without a single demand for it. Your emotions are powerful, but only when you own them. The moment you hand them to someone else, when you let their behavior decide your mood, you've given away your strength. Emotional control means you no longer live in reaction mode. You observe, you process, and you respond on your terms. That is what draws people to you. Not the loudness of your confidence, but the steadiness of your composure. When you walk through life with that kind of balance, steady heart, calm mind, grounded energy, people feel it before you speak. They see it in your posture, your tone, your silence. It's the kind of respect that doesn't need to be requested. It's earned through consistency, through restraint, through the quiet discipline of someone who refuses to let emotions lead the way. There's a kind of strength that doesn't need to shout, prove, or defend itself. It simply is. That strength comes from emotional control. The ability to hold your composure when someone pushes your buttons, when situations turn chaotic, when everything in you wants to react. That's where real respect begins. People instinctively respect those who stay calm under pressure, because calm is rare. When everyone else is loud, impatient, or defensive, the person who remains centered stands out. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about mastering them. It's knowing when to speak, when to be silent, and when to walk away without letting your emotions lead you into weakness. When you lose your temper, you hand your power to the person who provoked you. When you argue just to prove a point, you trade authority for validation. But when you pause, breathe, and respond with clarity, that's when people start to see you differently. They sense that you can't be manipulated. They realize your emotions aren't available for their control. That's the quiet power of emotional discipline. It sets a boundary that words don't have to explain. You become the calm in the storm, the one who decides when and how the energy in a situation moves. Every emotionally intelligent person understands one truth. The person who controls the tone controls the room. You can have the same conversation, but with two completely different energies. One is reactive, driven by anger, pride, or insecurity. The other is composed, grounded, deliberate, unshakable. Guess which one earns respect? The composed one. People naturally follow those who can keep their emotions balanced because it creates safety. It signals that no matter what happens, you won't lose yourself in the chaos. And that kind of presence draws others toward you, not through fear, but through quiet confidence. Think about the last time you were around someone who didn't react emotionally, someone who just listened, observed, and responded only when necessary. There's something magnetic about that energy, isn't there? It makes you curious, maybe even a little cautious. You start measuring your own tone, your own words, because their calmness demands it. That's what emotional control does. It elevates the room without you needing to say a single word. It changes the entire rhythm of an interaction simply through your restraint. Emotional control is not about pretending not to feel. It's about deciding that your emotions will serve you, not sabotage you. Anger, fear, frustration, they're all signals, but they're not commands. You can acknowledge them without acting from them. You can choose patience over impulse, observation over reaction. The more you practice this, the more power you gain, because you're no longer driven by what's happening to you, but by how you choose to respond within it. That's the difference between someone who demands respect and someone who commands it. The one who remains composed in emotional chaos always walks away with their dignity and with everyone else's silent admiration. Respect is not something you ask for, it's something you emit. It's the silent energy that radiates from you long before you open your mouth. You don't need to tell people to respect you when your presence already commands it. That kind of energy is built from the inside out, from your consistency, your discipline, and your ability to stay rooted in who you are, no matter where you are. Every room you walk into feels your energy before they hear your voice, your posture, your focus, your calm. They all tell the story of your strength. When you walk with purpose, when your silence carries weight, when your eyes speak conviction, people notice. They may not even understand why they respect you. They just do. There's a subtle power in moving through life with self-respect. Because once you respect yourself deeply, the world mirrors it back to you. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. If you speak down to yourself, tolerate disrespect, or constantly shrink to make others comfortable, you communicate weakness without a word. But when you hold your space with quiet confidence, not arrogance, not ego, just calm certainty, you send a message that says, I value myself. And that's when others start valuing you, too. People pick up on your energy faster than they process your words. Energy doesn't lie. It tells the truth about what you believe you deserve. When your inner energy is grounded in peace and clarity, it changes everything about how others perceive you. You no longer chase approval or validation because you understand that true respect begins with presence, not performance. You don't need to explain who you are or prove your worth. Your steadiness, your calm tone, and your emotional control are your introduction. The moment you stop trying to be impressive and start being intentional, you shift from seeking respect to embodying it. That's the transformation most people miss. The realization that respect isn't earned through external dominance, but through internal mastery. Every day you have the opportunity to project an energy that says, I'm in control of myself. That doesn't mean being emotionless or detached. It means being centered, aware of your emotions, yet never ruled by them. It's walking into a situation and knowing that no matter what anyone else does, you'll stay true to your standard. That's where the energy of respect lives, in the quiet confidence of self-command. You don't force it, you don't fake it, you simply live it. So, as you move through your day, remember this. Respect is not about volume. It's about vibration. The energy you carry teaches people how to engage with you. If your energy is calm, focused, and firm, the world responds accordingly. The more you master your presence, the less you'll ever need to explain yourself. Because real respect doesn't echo through words, it's felt in silence.